So here.
Okay, so now we're recording and I'm going to start working on making us live on Facebook. We are doing the Facebook live group readings today, and I am here with SoCal medium Kelly Fisher. Okay, so Kel's going to chat for a few while I do the other part.
I'm on, I'm off. Okay. All right, well, we're just waiting for some other people to join here, but when we do the readings, we're going to bring through spirit communicators. Sometimes we have intuitive messages about people's lives that we're going to share. And let's see, we never quite know what's going to happen, but we do need a yes, no, I don't know response from you all, a verbal response, so that everybody listening can understand what's going on with the communication. And let's see, if you would like to be read, if you're listening, you haven't joined yet, you would like to be read, go ahead and just raise your hand or send us a message so that we know that you're open to being read. And you do not have to have your video on, but if you do, that's even better. So, Sharice, it's your birthday, so we can start with you if you like. Happy birthday.
Okay,
so,
looks like we're going streaming, and I also put a link to the Zoom, so if people want to join as they're watching this time, they can just see the link and join. So
right.
That's the best way for us.
Very
birthday girl.
Hey there. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you just fine.
Okay.
So who would you like to hear from, Sharice, or what would be helpful for you today?
I'm thinking of Dad and Grandma, his mom, and of course my angel.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got a few that might come through.
Whoever seems to, to step in.
All right. So it looks like Joy is tuning in. Let me see.
It's funny, I kind of always feel Angel around, and those who are watching who may not know, we have worked with Sharice before, and Angel is her son, who is a different kind of angel now. So let me get a few pieces of evidence to validate for him, because I feel like he's going straight to messages today, but as we often talk about, Kelly and I practice evidential mediumship, so we like the spirit communicators to establish a little bit of evidence of who they are, just so we can be sure before we jump right into messages. Okay. I don't know if we have gone over this before, but when Angel was still with us in the physical world, was he playing baseball yet? Because he comes in with that baseball hat that he often has.
Definitely. Yep.
He was. Okay. That makes sense. So I think that's just how he's giving me himself this time. Okay, so let's see what else. The other thing is, are you this year starting to focus on really working on your communication outwardly to be able to communicate more just clearly who you are, less beating around the bush, more speaking your piece, if you will?
Yes, hence I'm on video today.
Oh, really? Okay, because I know there's this acknowledgement from him of really just encouraging you with that, just go for it, that what you have to say is valid and valuable to a lot of people. So there's definite encouragement. He comes in with a lot of that really clear blue, which is communication in all its forms. Are you also thinking about, I think I asked you this last time, are you thinking about starting to do just a little bit of artwork more for your own healing?
It's in the back of my mind.
Okay. He's also acknowledging that and giving you just a little encouragement, because I just see you, doodling and drawing and doing some light painting. And I feel like that's another thing you can do besides journaling to, help express yourself. Okay. The other bit is, now I know that we've talked about before how Angel really loved birthday parties, but can I just check, did he also really enjoy like a New Year's Eve party?
I don't know in particular, but I'm sure he would. Anything like celebrating with family.
Okay, then let me check. Did you stay up till midnight this year and just do not necessarily like a big formal celebration, but something just very small, acknowledging just yourself?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he also wants to acknowledge that, because it does feel like he might have got to stay up a few times when he was here, but now I know he's talking about also you this year. And it feels like it was just very small, not even anything necessarily to mention, nothing to write home about, if you will, but just something very meaningful and moving that you did for yourself. You would understand that?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, and did you actually feel his presence with you at that time?
I don't recall that I was aware of it.
Okay, he makes me aware that he was with you. It feels like it was just very dimly lit in there.
Oh yeah, now I remember. Yeah, I definitely took
And it
some
is just him
time.
just right next to you, kind of doing a
Yeah.
New Year, you know, Happy
Yes,
New Year with
that
you.
was.
And I think it's wonderful that he's making you more and more aware of his presence. Cal, do you want to come on in? I see ya.
Well, so when you mentioned baseball, what I had was this radio flyer red wagon, and it looked as if going to the baseball games, Sharice, I'll check with you. When you guys used to go to his baseball games, could you actually walk to the field from your house?
There was open area, yeah, right there. But walking to the field, I wouldn't. I mean, it was close by, close to home.
Okay. Well, what I was seeing is that this red wagon, I don't know if it was radio flyer, but that's what it looks like. This red wagon that used to drag, we used to pull all the gear and sometimes a kid, but there would be like baseball mitts and the balls and sometimes juices, and one child could fit maybe with all the other stuff. But do you remember actually having like a wagon, something that you would pull all the gear into these baseball games? Or it could even be to the park, but it feels like there's baseball stuff in the wagon.
I don't recall that.
Okay, that's okay. I'll keep moving with it, because he was also saying that when he used to play baseball, that there were different times that different parents would be designated as the snack provider. So do you understand that bit?
Sure.
He said you would take the shift, sometimes even more than the other parents. Like if somebody wasn't raising their hand, you'd say, "Oh, okay, I'll do it." But he remembers the juice boxes, so you must recall that.
I was just thinking of the juice box.
He loved those juice boxes. He just loved that juice. But I know that you also would not let him have unrestricted access to juice boxes all the time, because you're aware of how high the sugar content is and all of that. So he loved that he had the opportunity to drink them. And even sometimes on occasion, if he was lucky enough, the Capri Suns. But I don't think that you brought those. The other parents brought those because they were just sugar water. So
yeah.
Anyway, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
There was another thing that then came up when Joy was talking about birthday parties, where he was acknowledging having given you a gift one year that was homemade. And this is going to be really far back in your memory recesses, so see if it rings a bell. And he would have actually made little coupons for you, like this is good for a free hug, or this is good for this.
Oh, yeah.
And so
I remember those.
So sweet, because it really came from, from his heart. And then what he was saying is, because they can't give you those this year, maybe you could gift yourself a deck of angel cards or oracle cards if you haven't already. And that way, those cards would be the cards that he's giving you for each day that you want to pull one.
Oh, I just looked at those like a couple days ago.
Okay, so
in the store.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Treat yourself to a deck of them if you can. If
I will.
a deck of them, really calls to you.
Thanks. I need permission to do that.
Yeah, they're from Angel, so it'll be for
Thank
you.
Kelly.
Absolutely.
It's so cool, because as you were talking about the birthday thing, I was aware of not the coupons, but I think this is a different birthday card that he would have made you. Fairy crayon or colored pencils with, it's just like a homemade on construction paper card, but I feel like you've still got it tucked away somewhere. And I'm sorry that there's a lot of birthday love coming to you, and I wouldn't be surprised. I think that the angel card thing is an amazing gift of a message for you. I would definitely get those, but I also wouldn't be surprised if someone gives you an angel, either like a pin or something small that you wear in some way, pin, pendant. I even would take it as a charm, but I feel like that's coming to you within the next couple weeks as a birthday gift. So I would just kind of pin that in the back of your mind and let us know when you receive it.
Any suggestions on the deck? I know there's so many different ones.
Oh, I think the deck of cards, it just needs to call to you. You've got to
Okay.
just feel it. You're so intuitive. You'll feel it when it's right.
Okay.
Yeah, look at a couple different
I was thinking of actually that one that caught my attention was the geometrics or something. Do you know that one?
Yeah,
I don't know.
absolutely.
We'll see.
That could be a good one for you. Okay. All right. Well, thanks, Sharice, and happy birthday.
Yeah.
All right. Who's next? Teresa, Catherine. Okay. I think maybe Catherine said I'll go, but
Hi.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Okay. All right. So both Teresa and Catherine, you're both unmuted. Do either of you have a preference as to who goes first?
We have time to get to both of you, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. All right. Catherine, are you okay to be the next? And then Teresa will pick up with you?
Yeah. That's fine.
Okay. All right. All right, Catherine. So I don't know how much you heard. We did a little bit of an intro, just kind of letting you all know how we work. And have you been on the call before?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, welcome. And so what we do is Joy and I are either going to read individually or together, which is double linking. And as we bring forward the spirit communicator, we are going to hopefully bring through evidence that will make sense to you so that you'll understand who this person is to you. And as we move forward, we like to validate each piece of information. So if you could give us a verbal yes, no, or I don't know with everything that we give you, that's really helpful for us. And in the context of this kind of call, instead of just seeing mediumistically who is around you, just in the interest of time, we ask for the name and relationship of the person that you're hoping to hear from, and we'll go from there.
Okay. Well, it would either be my mom, Patricia, or my sister, Jessica. I don't know. I have two siblings that passed and both my parents, so I don't.
I'm sorry. Okay. So yeah, hard to choose, right? Well, we'll just see who steps forward first. Okay.
Okay.
I feel like immediately I'm aware of a woman who steps forward who wants to acknowledge having gotten ill, that there's a passing that feels like it has to do with cancer. So would one of these people have a cancer passing that you could connect with?
My sister, she had leukemia.
Your sister. Okay. Is this your sister, Jessica?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because the feeling with her is very much a feeling of going before her time is the way that she makes me feel it. That she says I was, she just feels too young to pass.
She was 36.
36 is far too young, so I understand that. Okay. And the feeling with this leukemia with her is really a very, very strong battle that she fought. I really put up a fight with this. And I know that she shows me what feels like a long time of treatment. And with long time, it could just be a year or two, but it just feels like forever. So I understand that that's probably the way that the family felt as well, is that it just, even though it was a short window in comparison to the rest of her life, it felt like it dragged on for a long time. I know that she was in and out of the hospital a lot with this disease. And can I ask if there was an effort to find I don't know how leukemia works, but is there an effort to find a donor?
Yeah, me and both my brothers and a bunch of other people got tested.
Yeah, because I felt like there was a line of people. There wasn't a shortage of people who were getting tested, who were open to finding out if they were a donor, but it doesn't feel that there's a match.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Let's see. And Joy, you're welcome to jump in here any minute if you have information.
I feel like I may be with mom
mother
rather than sister. It's like,
That'll
we want, and then you can hop back in. Can I ask, with your mom, is she more recently passed? The way she gives it to me, it doesn't feel like it's been like 10 years. It feels more on the recent side.
8 years.
8 years. That's a long time. Did she get the opportunity to meet at least one of her grandchildren?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, because she comes in as very proud grandma. And would you remember her ever wearing like a long necklace or pendant that she'd kind of wave in front of the baby when they're one of them? I don't know. I know that there's like a little handful of grandkids.
So when I was pregnant, she would dangle a necklace with a ring on it to see if it was a boy or a girl.
Okay, I can take that, because that's how she's differentiating herself from your sisters, as like, hey, it's the grandma, it's me. And then have there been children added into the family since she's passed over?
Yes.
Additional little ones? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know that she's very excited to see new babies coming. Do you ultimately have at least one of your children a boy?
No.
No. Is there someone else that's had a boy since she passed?
My girls have had boys.
Oh my gosh!
Her
So
great
grandkids. Okay. And is there one that's a newer baby now that's within the last 2 years?
Yes.
Okay, because she talks about that one. Now, does that baby have a name that's part of a family member's name, but just in a different way, either as like a middle name or a remix, is what I like to call it, like a remix of a name?
So my daughter had a little girl a year ago, and she gave her my mom's last name.
Okay. So is it kind of as like a second middle name? Okay, so mom acknowledges that as well. Cal, I know you've got more information with her sister too, so do you want to swap over and we'll keep
yeah, bouncing all over the place with it between sister and mom, but we can totally do that. So with Jessica, can I ask? I feel that she wants to acknowledge a child as well. So does she have her own children?
She had 3.
Yeah, because I feel like for her, she wants to reach through and send her love to her children. That's so important. But then I know that you take on a pretty active role in just sort of stepping in to fill her shoes after she passes. Can I say it that way? And she says, thank you for everything that you did for my kids after I passed. Okay. There's I know that she must have one daughter at least, because she keeps talking about a girl. And is there one of her daughters that's fairly similar in age to one of your girls?
Yeah.
Okay. And is there a picture that where they would have been dressed almost identically to one another when they were little? Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's so funny. And I don't know the age of your daughters, but to me it looks like 90s, because we've got like it looks maybe a side pony. Were your girls little in the 90s?
Yeah.
Okay, because I have this look of 90s clothing, and you know when they used to gather the shirts off to the side and put the little doohickey on it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what they're called, but anyway, that's what it looks like, and it looks like the shirts may have been self-decorated or tie-dyed or something like that. But she's bringing up this picture because I think the reason that that's important is that the time when she was happiest was when she had young children. And even though that was crazy for both of you, you guys would get together and just make it happen and make it special. And you were cooking and cleaning and changing a diaper and doing this and doing that, but you were a team. And so that's what she's wanting to bring up. Okay. All that information. Okay. And I mean, more than anything, she wants to say that she loves you and that she misses you. And missing is different in the spirit world because they don't have negative emotions, but I do believe that they miss being with us in the physical. She is very much with you in spirit. So she wants to send love to her kids. And then there also would be grandbabies for her though, right? So her kids haven't yet had babies.
No, they haven't.
But they're on their way because they must be at the stage of life where they're getting ready to have to get married and have children. Okay.
Her oldest daughter, yes.
Okay, so I won't be surprised if there's some babies baby on the way within the next couple of years, probably, is what it feels like. But she's acknowledging that there's grandbabies. That means that she's getting to know them on the other side. So
Okay.
that's really neat. Okay. I'm getting more information from her, but I know that I'm very tuned into Joy as well when we read, and I'm feeling like your mom's wanting to talk, so I'm gonna pop over to Joy with that.
By we check in on each other and say, like, do you want to say something? Because we link together, and we can kind of feel each other like chomping at the bit, if you will. So can I ask, it feels like it may be by marriage, but of your kids' generation, so this would be your mom's grandkids, is there a husband of someone who is military?
I was married to somebody in the
We're
military.
married to someone in the military. Is he still living?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I know she talks about some, can we call it discord there? Like it's some up and down there. Does that make sense?
But my brother is in the Army as we speak.
He's there as we speak. That's your brother. I feel like it's more with him because I know she says she's watching over him.
Yeah, because he's in Korea right now.
Okay, so that makes sense. And is with his work, is there some up and down, some time where he's able to communicate and then other times where he's not able to communicate with you guys?
Yes.
Okay. So she's acknowledging that, and she wants you to know that she is also watching over him. So, feel rest assured with that. Okay. Is he quite close to your kids as well?
Yeah.
Okay. And then does he have his own children?
Yes.
Okay. You guys have a pretty big family. She's just kind of making me aware of the rounds there. So I know that she watches out for him. Does he have so this would be, he's got kids, but are some of them also getting ready to have kids?
No.
Not quite yet. Okay.
Mm-mm.
So let me see. She just makes me feel like there's a lot of busyness around them. So let me see if I can understand that a little bit more. Does he have at least one son, your brother?
Two. He has two.
Is one of them having kind of a tough time with him being gone?
Possibly.
And the rest. Okay. Just check in on that. I think it's just her acknowledging that there's, one of his kids that's just having a little bit of a tougher time. And it's almost the sense that I think they're each close to their dad in a different way, but it feels like he may be more on the, liking to get advice on a regular basis or really being very connected with him. And it feels like he may be just missing him and missing that connection with him. So if it's within your power or you want to do so, I would just see if you can just reach out and check on him a little bit more. Okay. So let me see. The other bit is, let me see if I can understand this. Okay. Is there a female in the family that's coming up on a February birthday?
Me.
You. Okay. So I know that she wants to wish birthday love to you, even though we're, just around the corner from it, not quite there yet. But she wants to take this opportunity. And she does make me aware that, I'm sure this is just a natural thing, but that for you in particular, your birthdays are a little tough when she's not around because, you guys would definitely connect on that day, even if you couldn't be in the same place. And I do feel like you've got several greeting cards from her over the years from when she couldn't be physically with you. I know she'd send a little card or a little note. Sometimes it even looks like a little note thank you card rather than like a big card, but I think you've still got a little handful of them. And I know that she sends birthday love to you. Let me check. Is your favorite birthday cake more of like a tiramisu or like a not traditional birthday cake?
Yeah, angel food.
Angel food cake. Okay, because she's just saying have your special cake. She wants you to make sure you get your special cake and that you really celebrate yourself and the year that you've just come through is the way she's saying it. So I know that there's been some stuff for you this she's acknowledging. It's been a little bit of a heavier year, so make sure you celebrate yourself. This news to say it. Thank you for sharing here with me. I know that's her main message to you.
I was getting something along the same vein there with everybody in your family stepping forward from the other side. There really is an acknowledgement of having heard you, so that you've been calling out to them and asking for them to be with you and for their help. And this feeling that they give me of the same thing that Joy said, of having gone through a harder year in 2019 than maybe was expected. And what I have to tell you is I get very, very clearly, especially from your mom, that she says, honey, everything is going to be okay. So she just wants to tell you everything is going to be okay. And I feel that I want to tie that to a lot of different things, but there are some specific areas of your life that she wants to put that on. Okay, so I know there's been a lot of concern there, and because we're on a public forum, we're not going to get into the specifics, but just you need to know that, because she's coming through and she's giving you a big hug and she's saying it's going to be okay. All right, so you just hang in there and know that you're not alone, because they're all with you as much as you need them to be. Okay. All right, Catherine. Well, happy early birthday to you.
Thank you.
Your loved ones with us.
Yeah, thanks so much. So I think we've got Teresa next, and then I know we've got time to get to Julie if she'd like a reading as well. Hey, Teresa, how are you? Let me unmute you.
Hi.
Hello. Thanks for your patience.
How are you?
Good. Good to see you. How have you been? How were your holidays? Were you okay?
They were okay.
Okay. Good. So who would you like to hear from today?
Either one.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't have favorites, but I love your mom. She cracks me up. So we'll just see if she comes through what she has to say. Can you remind me your son's name again?
Dustin.
Dustin, thank you. I should remember that. Dustin. Okay. All right. So for everybody listening, we have communicated with, we've worked with Teresa before and brought through her son Dustin and your mom on a few different occasions, but we always ask that they maybe give us something new each time, something that meets you where you are. So let's just see here. Go ahead, Joy. You ready?
I can start. Yeah, let me just check something with Dustin. I felt your mom right away, and then he kind of slid in as well. So let me just check. Now, I know that there's this love of music with him. You would understand that? Listen to music.
Yes.
It feels like sometimes some of it, I think he's got different music tastes, but it feels like for a little bit, it's more of that like heavy metal, very strong music. Are you aware of that? Do you remember a time, it feels a little bit younger in his teen years, he's kind of making a joke about it. That's why I'm bringing you there. Was there a little short time where he decided to try to paint his nails at one point?
I don't remember that. No.
You'll have to look back at photos if you don't, because I was like, are you sure? But he's brought it to me a couple times, and he's just kind of making a joke about that. It feels like there was a phase where he was a little more dressing a little
goth. No.
Funny. Yeah, it's kind of,
no,
it's not all the way goth, but it's just a little different, because he's joking about coming out of that phase fairly quickly. Is the joke there? And let me see what else. Okay. Do you have a neighbor near you that you sometimes hear kind of that kind of music coming out of their house at weird times?
No.
No. Okay. Let me just work with him a little bit more. Kel, if you're already in there, you can.
Well, I've got him in my mind's eye at some stage of his life, and what I am understanding, and it's sort of in that heavy metal period as well. Was he actually fairly thin, fit like his build? He's not a big guy. And was there a time that his pants, like he needed to wear a belt because his pants would kind of fall down on him?
And wouldn't.
yeah, and wouldn't wear a belt. But then I feel like I need to talk about, there was a phase where then he started to wear a belt because it wasn't as cool anymore to let the pants fall down over his booty.
His extra large t-shirts.
Yes, exactly. But I know that I have to talk about this belt being kept, because I feel like you actually have held on to a number of his clothes. Do you understand that bit?
Yes.
Okay. And would you have in the clothes that you've kept, would you have found a belt that looks to be like a black, it might be leather or it could be cloth, but then there's a silver buckle on the front that's about a rectangular silver buckle?
Yes.
Okay. Because he's just talking about that belt. He finally gave into the belt. So that's what I that's what I have to give you from him. But he's really funny because he's good. He's kind of good at laughing at himself, you know, for the things that he used to do in terms of the way that he used to dress and the and I feel like he used to say, Dustin, pull your pants up. You gotta pull your pants up because they're, you know, I can see your underwear. So funny. So he says, you finally acquiesced, Mom, but he says, Mom, you were right. You were right about a lot of things. That's the way that I feel it from him. Joy, if you're ready here, I've got it. My dog goes crazy when I'm reading and she's trying to get into the office. So give me a moment. I'm going to let her in and you guys take it.
So funny. It's interesting because I know that he's got multiple sides of his personality, and I know that there's times where he's very quiet and you would remember him kind of being a little reserved, but I don't feel like he's like that with you often. Does that make sense?
No. Right.
Because I know that sometimes he'll need a few minutes to himself to like process. I feel like he'd come home and just kind of quickly take a few minutes to himself, but I think very quickly he feels like he comes and finds you wherever you are to talk about his day with you or whatever just went wrong. Can you remember it feels like in the last couple years that he was with us, did he have some like a job that he wasn't crazy about?
Yes.
Okay. So I know that that'd be one of the trigger things is kind of what he's saying, but that you always, you know, were able to kind of talk him through it and keep him on track as far as why it'd be a good idea for him to try to stay a little longer.
Walk and talk.
Yeah, but it does feel like he just knows that this is not going to be his forever position, if that makes sense. I know that he aspires to different things, but it feels like he's on the road to gain whatever knowledge he needs to move more towards what he wants to do. But it's a sense that he wants to acknowledge that you were always so encouraging of him and that you were really one of the few people in his life that was able to inspire him when he is having a really hard time getting inspired is the way he's giving it to me is kind of like, you know, it's really tough sometimes to get inspired to go to this job, but you just had this way of giving him words of inspiration and rationalizing with him in a way that was talking to him as an equal rather than, you know, he was your child at that point. It was like you were able to talk to him in a more adult way that puts the power on him to make the choice, but really at the same time inspired him.
We worked together, so.
Okay.
He had to go.
He had to go, so he knew all the players, so that makes sense. And are you still at that place where you guys work together?
As we speak.
Okay, oh, that's interesting. Okay. And I know that your dad was with us a few weeks ago when it was his birthday. Do you actually work nearby where your dad is too?
We all work together.
We all work together. Okay, because he keeps showing me him just right there, and I'm like, can that be right? I know that he hangs out with you guys at the office, which is a funny thing. Would he occasionally be what I want to call just like lightly mischievous around the office? Where he
really? Oh, come on.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's still, like, now that the holidays have calmed down and things are going back to a normal pace, I feel like he's going to start up with his kind of practical jokes, the very lighthearted, you know how it is, like he'll move something or you just can't find this paper and then there it is, or, you know, the other bit is, was he sometimes in charge of answering the phones?
Yes. That's the part he hated.
Yeah, that's what he's bringing to, and so I know that there's a joke about that where it's like, you know, now he's not answering the phone, but it's so that I would be surprised if he's doing something funny with the phone.
Oh God!
Listen for that if you pick up the phone and it's like staticky or bad connection, or the answering machine's picking up before you can get it, or because he's funny things with answering and not answering the phone. I would look for those. Cal, I see you back.
I'm back. I let her in. She's crazy. So with Dustin, there's so much, as Joy was talking, that I was getting flashes of. But is there a part of your business that you actually do like boxing and shipping?
No.
Okay. Would he be in charge of having like sent out things though, from the gone to the post office to mail out letters and so on and so forth?
Reports, yes.
Okay. he just makes me feel like he was kind of happier being in his own world and not having to interface with people. So it was like,
Right.
if he had to do the busy work, like sending out the reports, fine, but it's better than having to answer the phone.
Yes.
And then I was being shown this thing that I used to have a lot of fun with called an Eviltron. And it's a very tiny thing that you kind of like, it's magnetized, and then it makes these really annoying scratching sounds or like screaming sounds.
Right.
So I felt he made me feel as if he had something along those lines at some point that would make noises that would drive you crazy. And people were trying to kind of figure out where they were coming from. But those are the kinds of pranks that Dustin would do. Is that right?
Yes.
And then I know, I feel like we know you well enough that you may be okay to bring this up, but his humor sometimes also could be like poop humor would be something that he would enjoy.
Yes.
You
Of
understand?
course.
I was hearing the sounds, and then I heard like a fart machine sound, and I'm like, oh no, we're not going there, are we?
I
But then
often called Dustin. I said, "You're either 12 or 30. Which
Yeah.
one am I going to get today?"
which child do I have? And when
Right.
he was young, he would, that's where the love of the poop humor started, because he would like to take something like a Tootsie Roll and make it look like something.
Oh yeah.
on the floor.
Yeah.
So this kid cracks me up. So anyway, but all the practical joking aside, one of the things that I had to bring through for you from him is that, you know, usually we get parents coming through saying, oh, I'm so proud of you. But I actually get him coming through saying, Mom, I am so proud of you, because you really see the silver lining in just about everything. That's what you're good at. And that goes back to what Joy was saying about inspiring him and helping him to move forward. And he's saying that even though you feel like your feet are stuck in the mud after his passing and your mom's passing, that you're still moving forward, that you're picking up and you're trying the best you can to go forward and to find the silver lining and to heal. So he's so proud of you for not staying in one place, for trying to move forward. So I have to give you that from Dustin. And then with your mom popping in really quick, she wants to acknowledge your dad. Of course, you and your dad send you guys both love, but there were some practical things that I needed to touch on. First, I cannot get away from the front right tire of his car. And so I don't want to add things to your to-do list, but will you just check and make sure that everything's okay with the tire pressure? And does he still drive his own car?
Right. But it's funny you should mention that, because today he took hers because his broke down, and that car hasn't been driven in a year. So, yikes.
Check the tire pressure. Everything's going to be fine, but she's just letting me know that there might need to be some maintenance that needs to be done on
I bet it does. Okay.
keep them safe. Okay. So, and that was it. I mean, that's not all, but that was like the first thing that she brought through. So, you know, make it a priority.
Okay. Will do.
Okay. All right.
I've got just a quick little message on that. And as we were talking about all the practical joking, Dustin makes me aware that, you know, even though Grandpa can be kind of a serious businessman, he does enjoy the 12-year-old practical joke if it's like a really good one. So is what Dustin says. If you can get him with a really good one, he really enjoys it. And I know it's a thank you for looking after my grandpa, and that, you know, that you being with him all the time, it really is a gift and a help for both of you. And that Dustin's acknowledging that sometimes you don't even realize how much you're helping him just by being around him and being a smiling face and, you know, an encouraging pat on the back. So I know that there's a great thank you for that, because I know he's told us before, but he makes me aware again just how close they were, and how much respect and love he had for his grandpa. So I know he just wants to acknowledge and thank you for that, especially getting through the holidays and into the new year.
Okay.
So he just gives you that too. I feel like I always feel your mom. I love her. So
Me too.
Oh, well, we had one more person just pop on.
Thank you.
So, thank you so much, Teresa. Thanks for always sharing them with us. So, okay. So,
Hey, Danica. Danica was with us last week. So, Danica, Kelly, Danica, you missed her last week. How are you? Welcome back. She's not, last time she was driving, and this time she's not driving.
I am sitting this time.
Much better for me, because I almost had a heart attack.
No, man.
Driving. Did you want to hear from someone today?
Yes.
Okay.
My Uncle Richard.
Okay. So just take a minute and see if we can tune into Uncle Richard here. The first thing that he gives me, I don't even know if this is the appropriate way to say it, but would you understand him as like a good old boy? It's kind of the way he keeps it to me. No, okay. Let me see if I can work with that and understand that a little bit better while Kelly talks to you.
when I tuned into Uncle Richard, if I'm with the right energy, I just felt like I got a beer can right away. So I have to ask, does he enjoy drinking beer? Was he a beer drinker?
Yes.
Okay.
He was the wild one.
Yeah, he's a party guy. That's what I get with him. He just loves to be around people, and he loves to be drinking. That's what I have. But I feel like it's not enough to have 6-pack. He's going to crush more than that.
Yeah.
So you got to bring the 24-pack if Uncle Richard's going to be around. But he's a fun guy. I feel like one of the highlights, something he really enjoyed, was being around family and being around like barbecue, drinking beer. And when Joy said good old boy, I think just in a different way. He's sort of like all American, likes to drink beer, likes to barbecue, likes to watch football. Like, he's kind of that kind of guy. Do you get that with him?
Mm-hmm.
And do you remember with your Uncle Richard that he had a bit of a belly on him as well?
Well, I don't know, because I never met my Uncle Richard because he got murdered.
Oh.
But he always comes to me.
He does. Okay. All right. So you're mediumistic and you get him coming through. Have you seen pictures of him?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you recognize the belly that he's got? Because he's not a big guy, but he's got a little bit of a gut on him. Is what he should be.
I don't know if he ever had a gut on him.
Okay. All right. So just check on it. But I also feel like when he was working, that he must be driving a truck of some sort, because I feel like do you know what he did for work? Are you able to validate that?
So he died as a teenager when he got murdered. And so all I know is that he was a wild party animal. I don't know if this is right. He like constantly smoked weed and drank, but he like caused like scenes and stuff. Oh, he was a volunteer firefighter.
Okay, so the truck is yeah. Okay, perfect. That makes sense, because I definitely saw him doing with a truck tied to his work. So it's so interesting when we bring through spirit communicators, because nobody is just one way. And so with everything you just told us about his party lifestyle, you wouldn't necessarily think that he also would be volunteering with a firefighter.
Right.
So it's always cool to see the dynamic of people. I feel like there's still some questions that surround the way that he was killed. So you understand that to be true. But I also know that he takes some responsibility. It doesn't feel as much like wrong place, wrong time as it is that he added a little bit to the heightened energy of the moment.
Right.
So if I can say it that way, because it feels as if there's confrontation there. There's a fight that happens.
Mm-hmm.
And there's more than just he and another person. It feels like there's other people around in the process.
Yeah. I believe he was murdered by like 4 or 5 people.
Yeah. But even though like it's never somebody's fault when they get murdered, but it does feel as if he was part of this altercation. In other words, it doesn't feel like it was a drive-by shooting, or it just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Okay, let me see here. Joy, if you have anything, let me know, but I'm at the scene of
check. So some of the questions, is it where, I know Kelly said it's several people that he's with. I feel like the way he makes me feel is he had to have known several of these people, even casually. And then we're like, why is no one saying anything? Because clearly some of you guys were supposed to be his friends and you all know something, is kind of how it feels.
Exactly.
Just check for me at some point. When he was giving me that Good Old Boys thing, he kept showing me Dukes of Hazzard. So I'm wondering if that was one of his like favorite shows. Because I really want to put that part right. Do you know that about him, or have you heard?
It's so funny because he was the prankster. So it all makes sense. And when he was home, it was all about his family. So he was very like, what can I do for my mom and my brother and all this stuff. But as soon as he left that front door, you just did not know. And it's crazy because his murder is still one of the highest talks around the city. And this happened years ago, but his murder was never solved and the questions remain unmystery. The guys never got caught up for it. So I feel like I have this strong connection to my Uncle Richard because everyone says you're just like him. You're wild, you're crazy, you're outbursted. But I feel like my uncle would literally wake me up in the middle of the night. And one time we was trying to find like pictures of him, and he brought me to the closet in the house like he grew up in, and I found this chest of just his work from elementary, like his drawings, his pictures. I found yearbooks, and then when I was going through college, it was through finals time, and he would wake me up around 3 o'clock in the morning, bring me on the patio, and just tell me everything's gonna be okay. But I've always his murder has always been on my head, like as if I have to solve it. But I feel like there's strong connection to him, and I've never met him, but I just meet him through that way. I don't know. It's like a cloud ball for me. Like, oh.
That's cool that you have such a close connection to your uncle mediumistically, because you must have a lot of similarities in your personality, but also he's still your uncle, even though he passed when he was probably younger than you. It's this feeling of your family, and he loves you, and he's one of his protectors. Especially if you're wild, sometimes he would feel that extra need to protect you. So just because he's coming to you doesn't necessarily mean that you have to solve his murder, but I would listen because there might be hints or clues that you might be able to pick up on. I feel like there were, like Joy said, there were several people involved, but is there a weapon involved as well? Is there a gunshot wound?
No, I believe stabbing and brutally, okay. Like trauma. I know it was in a house.
Yeah, and he was beat also. But then there's one person that uses a weapon, so the knife is okay with me. That's fine. But none of them are going to give the other person up.
Right. No.
So there were a lot of people, or 3 or 4 people that were probably involved in beating him up, like you said. But then there's one person who would actually be ultimately responsible for having used a weapon against him, and none of these guys will ever tell you who that is, fortunately. So I think that I wouldn't kill yourself trying to find the person responsible. The feeling from Richard is that he's at peace with it, but that he wants to make sure that nobody else in his family meets any kind of end like he did. So I think that's probably more of why he's coming to you than to encourage you to find his murderer. Somebody's got a memorial tattoo with his name somehow incorporated into it on their body in the family. Does that make sense?
If anybody, it would have to be my papa, his brother.
His papa has a tattoo.
Okay.
But
yeah,
I have my memorial of my aunt who passed away from leukemia.
Okay.
But I don't know if somebody has his memorial.
Did she just say that Papa has the tattoo of Richard?
I believe so, which would be his brother.
Okay, all right. So then he's just acknowledging that he knows that tattoo was done in memory of him. So he knows how he's been memorialized and how he's been remembered since his passing, and wants to send love then to his brother.
Is he alone up there, or is he with our family?
They're never alone. They're always with their family members and other people who they love and care about on the other side.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I think that's always one of our things. Like, hopefully they're with other people.
I think that's the biggest question I get is, are they okay? Are they happy?
Yeah.
Are they at peace? And I have yet to find somebody who doesn't say yes to all of those answers.
Right. Because, like, when I'm with him, like, of course I'm, like, speeding, like, are you okay? Or what's going on? Like, oh, my goodness. But he would just be silence on that topic. Like, it was like, we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to do nothing. But it's like, here I am, like, running to everybody, looking through the old newspapers. But it's just like, I'm overstressed myself, and I just want to make sure, like, he's good up there. Like, he's healthy, he's happy, and he's still running amok, because I swear he's running down these hallways. I swear he is.
I am sure their personalities stay very much intact. So I'm sure he's running amok somewhere.
Because I knew, like, for sure, if my Uncle Richard is here, when he was a little kid, my grandma would hang up the family photos in the house. And my grandma's biggest pet peeve is if a picture was not perfectly straight on the wall. So he would go around the house and tilt every single picture that she hung up. And that was like, he would pull his pranks and think it was so funny. Well, after he passes, we'll literally wake up one day and all the pictures are tilted in the house, and we'll correct them. An hour later, the pictures are tilted in the house, and we'll be like, okay, Uncle Richard, we get it.
That's cool. That's cool that he's able to make his presence known around you guys. So that's he's a really interesting, cool energy, and I'm sorry that you lost him in the tragic way that you did, but I appreciate that you popped on today and let us connect with him.
Well, I appreciate it.
Anything else, Joy?
No, so I was going to say similarly to what you said, that I feel like one of the, his messages for you would be just take a lesson from the way he lived his life. And even though you have that wild call within you, that it's not your job to.
I am so not extent as him.
Good.
I can relate to some stuff.
That's kind of like, don't put yourself in situations that could be questionable or that could go in a questionable direction. He's concerned about your safety, as his niece, even though you didn't know him in a direct way. He definitely spends time with you now. And just like Kelly said, I would just be open for information he gives you. You could even keep a little journal and jot things down, but it's in no way your responsibility to, go question scary people and things.
Right? I would never put myself in that situation. It's more of like constantly reading the articles, reading what happened. Never actually went out to explore that, because like that's just not the get down. I'm not going to read that. Safe. But it was just more of like, wow,
just wanting to know, wanting some answers. The other bit is, it does feel like he wants to acknowledge that he has some friends that he's been able to meet up with over there that maybe also passed under more tragic circumstances. Feels like there's two males. It feels like they didn't pass together. They were apart. One feels tragic car accident, and one feels like potentially overdose of some kind. So just kind of back there. But he does want to acknowledge that he's, with friends, and that they've all kind of met up and, are working on making their peace together.
That's good.
So thank you so much for coming on again and sharing someone else with us.
Thank you.
Yeah. Say anything in closing, Cal?
Well, we have an event coming up, so we should chat about that. It's at Rise on the 31st of January. Am I right with that? What time? I forget.
It's at 6:30 p.m. for those who are in San Diego area. It is in downtown San Diego. It's Rize, RIZE, studios.com. Under events is where you can find it. We're really excited about that event. We're partnering with the yoga studio, so that's exciting. And then we've got something coming up in Orange County on February 22nd for those who may be a little more north. That is at Boti, BOTI. And we're going to create a Facebook event for that, but you can just go through their website and find that event as well. So we got a few things coming up.
Yeah, very exciting. Thank you guys, everybody, for joining us today. Cherise, happy birthday. And we will see you guys next time.
Great to see you, everyone. Thanks for sharing all your loved ones with us. Till we see you again.
Bye.